Sup guys, it's your boy Justin. Welcome to this week's episode of Tokusatsu Thursdays podcast. This week we're doing something different. We're not reviewing a Japanese tokusatsu show. This week we're reviewing the 2020 horror sci-fi film Psycho Goreman, which is an hour and 39 minutes. Right? It's directed by Steven Kostanski and starring Nita-Josee Hanna as Mimi, Kristen MacCulloch as Pandora, Owen Myre as Luke, Adam Brooks as Greg. Rich Evans apparently is credited as Death Trapper. I don't know if that's correct, but also there's Asuka Kurosawa, Asuka Kurosawa, who's a Japanese actress who played I think it was like the Witch Master, something like that. So this is a movie I've been wanting to watch for a while now, because I was a fan of this director, who directed movies like The Void, Father's Day, and Manborg. Who a lot of people, when Manborg came out, were really pissed off because Manborg sucked. I thought it was okay, but Manborg sucked, and people were trying to claim that, oh yeah, he didn't actually direct it. It was one of his guys that directed it. Well, according to Google, it was directed by Steve Kostanski, and if you watch the film, you can tell it was directed by Steve Kostanski. So it's like, what the fuck were these people talking about, man? Oh my god. Yeah, so like a lot of people who didn't know who Steve Kostanski was until The Void watched this movie and was like, oh my god, it's like if Tromaville made a Power Rangers horror parody, which is what the movie basically is, right? Yeah, that's basically what it is. Though fuck Tromaville, because Tromaville sucks. But yeah, that's basically what the movie is. Two kids, a boy and a girl from Spangler's, what was it called? Spangler's Springs, which obviously that's a reference to the Harold. What's his name? Harold, the guy from Ghostbusters. Harold Ramis or something. That's his character. If you watch the movie, you'll notice a lot of like movie references here and there. The planet where Psycho Goreman is from, Gygax, is obviously a reference to Gary Gygax, from the creator of Dungeons and Dragons, right? And the movie's about Mimi and Luke. Who Mimi is in the movie? It's implied the movie takes place in like the late 90s. They're playing N64, right? And yeah, the Mimi is this psycho bully who bullies her, passive brother. And after Luke loses a game of Crazy Ball, this game, it's basically like dodgeball. It's basically dodgeball. She forces her brother to dig a hole so he could bury himself, right? And when they dig the hole, they found this coffin, right? And inside the coffin is Psycho Goreman, who's this evil being that laid waste to the universe with his dark paladins, right? Until they were defeated by the Holy Templars and their intergalactic, intergalactic planets alliance, which the Templars look like something from like heavy metal, right? The magazine, not the genre of music, right? At first I thought, oh, like, are they going for like an Ultraman kind of thing? But it's like, no, it's very like, heavy metal, if you ever watched those animated films, right? And yeah, what happens is that Psycho Goreman wakes up. He kills like a bunch of drug addicts in an abandoned shoe factory, which he makes his home, right? And Yeah. Mimi and Luke go to investigate the giant hole, um, the giant hole that showed up in their backyard, right? And they're like, okay, what the fuck? It wasn't like this when we dug it last night. And they find Psycho Goreman, and Psycho Goreman is about to kill them brutally, right? Like he killed the drug addicts, right? But it turns out that the gem the gem that is the ultimate power in the universe is in the hands of Mimi, even though Luke found it. And like she controls. It gives her the ability to control Psychic Goreman, right? So you have like the universe's greatest killer is in the control of this psycho kid, right? Who has a thing for hunky boys and has transferred her affinity for hunky boys to Psycho Goreman, right? The movie is basically like it's funny because the movie's like acts PG, but then there's like lots of like PG-13 like swearing. They even say the fuck bomb a few times, and there's over the top gore that you would see in like Tromaville movies, right? 80s horror movies, right? At one point in the film, Alistair, the friend of Luke, and who like Mimi has a crush on, doesn't want to hang out with Mimi anymore. So Mimi has Psycho Goreman brainwash him, but he tricks Mimi and turns him into a giant brain with eyeballs and tentacles, right? And like. And like Mimi does not give it. Mimi, despite the fact that Mimi doesn't have Psycho Goreman changes him back because she likes him the way he is. so he's like, Mimi, am I gonna be like this forever? He's like, probably, but I still like you. Gives him a kiss, and he just like shuffles home, right? Which is the credits for the movie is Alistair trying to have like dinner with his family, right? Oh my god, dude, that was fucking sad. So like there's like 80s montage, 80s 90s montage where where Psycho Goreman is just hanging out with the kids, hanging out with the parents, right? Right, and it's very like shit you would see on fucking Power Rangers, right? The movie kind of starts to pick up at the halfway point when Psycho Goreman's Dark Paladins show up, right? And he sent them to go. He called them to come and kill Mimi, take the fucking crystal. The gem, even though like all she would have to do is order Psycho Goreman to kill his paladins, right? And like he would have no choice to do it, right? But it turns out that the Dark Paladins made a deal with the Templars, right? Made a deal with the Templars, right? And they betray Psycho Goreman, where Psycho Goreman gets his ass kicked and is forced to apologize before he's allowed to kick the ass of of his former compatriots, right? Which the designs for the different monsters, it's like cheap rubber suits, but they look cool, right? And then they have cool designs, right? Right. Other stuff that the intergalactic planets knows that Psycho Goreman's awakened. So Pandora, their bravest knight Templar, which is like a robot. Well, it's a robot, but it's clearly a cyborg because she bleeds and shit. Goes to Earth to kill Psycho Goreman, but it is able to convince the mom and the brother to side against Mimi and Psycho Goreman, which the dad joins them, right? And you have this uh, crazy game. You have this game of crazy ball between Mimi, her mom, sorry, Mimi's mom, Luke, and Pandora, and the other side is Psycho Goreman, Mimi, and like her dad, right? Which is like, oh my god. When I saw that, I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, this is something that you wouldn't even see in Power Rangers. Please tell me there's a final fight. And there is a final fight, and it sucks. Cause like, you think, cause like in some of the art for Psycho Goreman, you see that he has a sword made of intestines and shit. So, like Pandora has a sword made from her wings, right? And you're thinking, oh, they're gonna have a sword fight at the end, right? He makes the sword, which the training card lied, because the training card is like, oh, the sword is made from the intestines of Psycho Goreman's enemies. Which, by the way, the reason why it took me so long to finally watch this movie, because the movie is only available for $20 DVD, or $50 and you get the train card on the train cards on Blu-ray, right? And the train cards fucking suck, right? And that's why it took so long. Well, I waited till, like, you know, I could find it at cheaper. I paid, instead of paying $50 for this, I paid 40, right? Yeah, so he takes pieces off Pandora and makes a sword, and at that point she's practically already dead, and he doesn't even kill her with the sword. He eats her alive. Sorry for spoiling the whole movie. So what did I think about this movie? I think the music was straight up, they ripped off Power Rangers and other popular songs, right? There's even a fucking Psycho Goreman rap at the end of the movie, which is something like Saban would do. By the way, the designs were cool. The action, what little action there is, was good, except for the fucking the end, which they were hyping up. That's fucking sucked. The acting was good. The cinematography was good, though there's like Canadian accents. Even though this movie was shot in Canada with probably Canadian actors, but it was like, okay. And like the cop uniforms were also Canadian uniforms, because they had the red stripe on the pants, and I don't think you guys have red stripes on your cops' pants, right? Blue pants. Yeah, so that kind of sucked. I don't know, it's the thing where I kind of liked the movie, but at the same time, this movie was too comedic, and, you know, yeah, you can parody something and still have cool action, right? Yeah, so this movie was not worth paying $40 for. I should have just bought the DVD, like, you know, 2 years ago when it fucking came out. But it's a fun watch. But I thought the movie, the fact that they have a fake sequel bait, where like a fake sequel bait where like the people, like the aliens at the intergalactic console or whatever, is like, I have a backup plan. The one funny alien's like, I have a backup plan, and he puts a revolver, like a 38 revolver, on the table. There's always a way out, guys. We'll fucking kill ourselves. Who wants to go first? And one of the aliens goes to reach for the gun. And that was a funny gag, but it was like, what the fuck, man? You have the fake sequel bait, and they had like they have like advertisements for like toys and shit, which I don't even. Who knows if that shit's even real? Let's look up. Is Psycho Goreman toys even real? Raven Banner. Plastic meatball. Is this shit real, or is it a joke? Well, it's not saying how much it is. So is this shit... Oh, is this shit real? Look how bad the articulation looks. Is there videos of people fucking around with these toys? Oh, apparently they are real. There's videos of people unboxing it. So the toys are real. Okay. Holy fuck, dude. So yeah, I don't know. If I were to give this movie a rating, I would say it's definitely better than... It's definitely better than Manborg, that's for sure. It definitely has a lot more entertainment value than The Void, obviously, because that was a horror movie. But like, it's not funnier than Father's Day. But Father's Day is a very fucked up movie. Yeah. And also, R.I.P. to Kenneth Welsh. He did the voice of like some of the aliens and the narrator, and he did a good job. He's a famous Canadian actor. If famous Canadian actor is even really a thing outside of people who leave Canada to go to Hollywood. Those traitors. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm giving it a 6.5 out of 10. It's definitely worth watching. It's definitely a good movie, a fun movie, but it's kind of like, as a Tokusatsu fan, the movie feels like kind of like a fuck you. But whatever.